Hello. Can you all hear me? Hang on a minute. Let's have a look and see what I've put this one as. At least it's gone out there all right. If my bonnet looks a bit rough, it's because I am a bit rough today. I'm always rough. What's the matter with you? Right, people. There's a few things we're going to be talking about tonight. Right. Get on here, everybody. The first thing I want to say to you is there is no calling tonight. And there is a specific reason for it. And I'm not going to tell you the reason until next week. So next week there will be a pub episode again. And everything will be back to normal within reason, right? But there's no pub episode tonight. And there's specifically no calling. And there is a particular reason for it. And it isn't what you think it is, but I can't talk about it just yet, right? So next week I'll tell you why. Good evening, Daddy Dragon, says Christine Hornsby. Piger, hello Piger, how you doing, son? Hi DD and all. Stephen, there you go. Let's see how many people are coming on board. Don't forget to send this out. So what I'm going to do, yeah, and here you go, people. Have a look at this. Hopefully the sound is all right and it's not too loud. If it's too loud, tell me and I'll turn the gain down a touch, right? And I will eventually show people all this setup again so you just realise, because I do everything, the producing, the editing, the research, the broadcast. I'm not a talking head from the BBC, right? Or Channel 4, which I'm going to come on to in a minute, right? Because we're going to have a laugh about a couple. Well, I don't know about laugh. You might laugh. I'm not going to say anything, and I do not want any comments or see any really bad comments out there, because it'll be bad on the show, and you know what I'm talking about when I show you it, right? So I'm just going to say this now before we go any further. Like and share. It's the most important thing. They've took down Daddy Dragon 3 times so far. We're back up and running, and I'm going to try and be as nice as possible. Right. One of the subjects I'll be covering tonight is Northern Ireland and what they've done to our soldiers, and talk about the British. We'll talk about the English. We'll talk about the destruction of the English regiments, and we're going to talk about other bits and pieces out there. Sound is perfect. John Pierce, hi Daddy Dragon, see you tomorrow. John, I apologise for not being able to get down here all week, but we've had a lot of stuff going on in the background. But again, I will be there tomorrow. I've already spoken to my cousin Janice, the one who's not very well, and she's even coming with us. So we'll have the other cousin there as well. You'll in effect have the Moore family out in full in Clacton on Sea, right? So Janice will be there, a few other people will be there. We're meeting at the pier, but we're not. I don't want to cause any problems for the pier or anything like that. It's literally a meeting place. But if you get there, it was 12 noon to meet us there. We're going to have some leaflets, go out and start talking to different people, and then go back. We'll walk up a little hill into Clacton. If anyone's disabled, disability or whatever, or got disability scooter. In fact, I need to speak to Maxine, because you might come in out here if you've got a disability scooter, because I might, and you know where Janice lives, which I'm not going to say on air. You may be able to pop round if you've got a mobility scooter, and then we can put some stuff in a little thing, and then he'll just walk round there. Evidently, it appears 7 minutes from where she lives. Janice has said to me she walks very fast, though. I said, so that's probably about 20 minutes for me. Right, so like and share, and that's the main point here. Subscribe. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, because it's you gets the message out there. I took the channel down with tens of thousands of subscribers. Like I said, it's a core element. It will be going over the other way into the webinar stuff and etc. Don't forget to subscribe. And most importantly, you see that little bell there. When you subscribe, it comes down and you click a little button next to it and you just touch all. That means any post from me on YouTube will be sent out. I was going to do one a day, or I might even do it tonight. Live videos from me, you should get a notification, because that's what that is, a notification. You turn notifications on your phone for YouTube. It's quite simple to do. Then you'll get the notifications. So there's a two-stage process. You do it on here, meaning on YouTube, but you also have to put it on your phone, your computer or whatever to accept notifications from YouTube, right? Then you will get the notifications. That's really important to understand. Now, there's a couple of other things I was going to talk to until I get into my main subject. In fact, I don't know whether to do my main subject now or not, to be honest with you. But well, there's three subjects that we're going to cover tonight, right? So, and I'm going to speak about another channel and two people. One is that. Two is is the one that will make everyone laugh. So I'm going to wait a little while before that comes on. And three is Northern Ireland and the absolutely disgusting British of what they're doing, and I think people should know. Next week I am going to cover off a subject, and I may even ask someone to review what I'm saying and give him a private viewing of the video before I put it up there. So it's not going to be a live one, but I'm going to put out exactly what I think of the National Health Service, and it's not in relation to anything else that's going on. It's a direct relationship between the National Health Service and Nazi Germany, right? And if people think, and again, I'm going to do a full video on this next week. Let me just have a look and see if I can show you this. I'm going to show you this on the screen. In fact, I just want people to go and read this. This is, it's called The West at War. And it's really interesting. People really do need to understand this. So I am going to show it on the screen. Let me pull myself down there. Get this across there. West End at War, it's called, right? And the basis of this is a really good thing for people to watch. But I'm also going to point you towards some, believe it or not, some BBC stuff that you should be able to have a look at. Right, but this here is about, and again, I'm not doing this tonight. All I'm doing is posting this out to you, so you understand there was massive opposition to the National Health Service. Even my dad, who's 90 odd now, even though he don't speak badly about the National Health Service, he said that it worked better before. And there's a particular reason for that. So what I'm going to say to you is next week I'm going to be doing a show, and it's going to pinpoint the similarities between the National Health Service, other things of Nazi Germany, and to show you one of the things that Hitler wanted was he didn't pop off religion. Well, actually he did on a couple of occasions, but he wanted socialism to be the religion of the people, right? And one of the ways in which they wanted to succeed with that was with installing it in this country, the greatest nation on earth, England, right? And if they could get it installed in this country, they would get socialism a foothold in the country, and people would then go for that. So all I'm going to do, I'm not going to go into detail with it tonight, but I think people will be interested in this, right? So what resistance was there to the formation of the National Health Service? Now, I want you to think tonight about what this show next week is going to be about, because I want to pinpoint a few things and bring it all together for you. But what's key to this is there was resistance to the National Health Service, and there was a particular reason for it, right? So while there are different views on specifics, and I'm reading from the screen, the National Health Service now has strong cross-party support and is very popular with the public, right? Now that's by design, And cross-party support is designed because we've actually got the Tories, which have always been socialists. We've got Labour, which are communists slash Marxists slash Nazis, pure Nazis. Liberal Democrats, again Marxists. This all relates back to the Fabian Society, and they all relate to the British, right? Now, what it says here, Nigel Lawson, listen to this, famously said, the closest thing the English have to a religion is the National Health Service. And David Cameron spoke passionately about it, but it was not like this. There was a fierce battle to get it established in 1946, and the doctors voted 10 to 1 against. Just listen to that. The doctors voted 10 to 1 against, right? So I'm not going to go into this too much, but I want people to understand this was never accepted. Churchill's Tories, libertarians, and I'm not talking about the Tory, I'm talking about Churchill was a real libertarian, right? He come from the Libertarian Party, and that's not the Liberal Democrats of today. None of that ever existed before. Churchill was a proper libertarian, right? And he was an Englishman, right? Churchill's Tories voted against the formation of the National Health Service 21 times before the Act was passed, including both the second and the third reading, right? Churchill sincerely believed that the National Health Service, listen to this, was a first step to turn Britain into a national socialist economy. Now just think what they're weaponising against you now, right? These people were very clever, right? But we're cleverer. To compare the National Health Service to Nazism in 1946 shows the extremity of the V's at the time. Despite the apparent consensus, opposition to the establishment of the National Health Service existed. Many groups, including charities, churches, and local authorities, didn't want the government taking control of hospitals, right? Now, I'm going to mark it there a sec, and I'm going to say this to everyone, right? You really do need to understand what the National Health Service has become as somewhere in the region of 1.5 million people. The people who have retired from that service, the fact that they all work for the state. The only people can work outside of that, and only because they negotiated in, were consultants that could still do private work, right? And I want you to understand that this was not accepted by the people. It was imposed on them by a British Parliament. And that's how socialism got its foothold in this country, right? Now, I'm telling you now, the number one health service anywhere in the world is Switzerland. It is completely private. It's run by private insurance. Switzerland also has the right to keep and bear arms. 50% of the population are armed, and not only are they armed, the arms are actually supplied by the government. And not only that, they're given 50 rounds of ammunition every year, right? It's got the lowest crime rate. It's got the best health service. It's got the best mental health facilities. It's got everything you would ever want in a society, and they have a different system to us, right? So what I'm going to do now is post this again. I'll post this in the chat, and I want people just to have a read of this. But I promise you, we'll be going into a lot of detail with this, and I'm going to cover some other things off. And I'm going to send my video that I'm doing to someone that when I tell you who it is, you'll probably all be quite shocked by it, right? And I'm going to ask him for a review of what I'm saying, and hope that he may come on the show. Listen, I will talk to anyone. I just want you to know this, people, right? Before you all go off on a tangent, hating me to death. I know you wouldn't hate me, right? Here we go. I'm going to show you this. I want you to all understand something. People describe me as all sorts, right? I'm a union activist, which I am, right? They describe me as far right, which I'm not. And as a union activist, I'm not far left. I believe in the people, and I believe in us, the working class, right? I can see what the elites have done to this country of England. I don't say I hate the British, but I'm telling you, I'll never forgive them for what they've done and what I can see strategically what they've done to this country, right? And the people, the British, that have got their heads so far up their backsides that they can't see what's coming. I can see what's coming. You can see what's coming. And we're taking this country back. So I've took that off, and I will be getting into more detail, but one of the things, again, I'm going to explain to you is all these analogies about me. I believe in the Constitution is the solution. I believe in England. I believe in our constitutional laws and the hierarchy of laws, and I believe in the rule of law. Right? I don't believe in left and right politics. You could not describe me as a socialist. You could not describe me as an anarchist, right? And the difference between the two is literally an anarchist isn't what the world describes it or that they try and portray it as, right? An anarchist is someone who believes in no rulers, that you cannot rule them. They don't want to be ruled by anyone, right? They believe that they have the rights to do, whatever they like, but they don't like to be governed, is the best way. So they do believe in the rule of law, most of them, but they don't like to be governed. Nor do I, to be honest. But that doesn't make me an anarchist, right? And I'm not an anarchist. I do believe there are elements that we need in place, right? But the state needs to be as small as possible, right? I think people who know me shouldn't have an issue with that. At the other end of the spectrum, you've got the socialism. Now, socialism means they take big control, and that's how all of this and what we've got now is, and the freedoms you're seeing being struck away from you as if they're nothing, even by the courts, is because of socialism taking a grip of this country. Can you release that grip? Yes, you can. Are there elements strategically that they've put in place to stop us taking back control? Yes, there are. They've took complete control, big government, of the media. Someone from America yesterday has sent Caustic Chameleon has sent me this screenshot, and the screenshot was of Greater Manchester and 4 candidates for the police commissioner and the mayor's role. And she said, "Where's the English Democrats candidate? They're not on there. The Labour candidate was on there, the Lib Democrat candidate was on there, the Labour candidate, the Conservative candidate, if you can call them that. You can't call them that, is the answer. So there was 4 candidates on there, and the Greens, I think it was. But no English Democrats. So what I want to try and say to you is, and what I said to Caustic Chameleon, now do you understand the problem? All of those parties are British, and they have refused, and it's a media hustings, right, on live radio. The British media and the system won't allow for the English party, the English Nationalist Party, to have a voice, right? So as far as those persons listening to that debate are concerned, there's only 4 candidates. And then you've got the court saying, if you want to change politics, then you need to change your policy. How can we do that, right? And then courts say to us, listen, this is the other thing that courts say to us, right? Courts say to us, don't bring politics into my court. Hold up, Judge. Turn it in with your silly wig and your funny coloured gowns. Let me just say this to you, Judge, yeah? Was it me or was it the politicians that unlawfully created the Constitution Reform Act of 2005, that then took our law lords from our House of Lords and placed them into a separate area called the Supreme Court? And I believe, and in fact not just believe, I know, that there should have been a referendum for that. You have fundamentally changed our constitutional, right? And further to that, the Constitutional Reform Act of 2005 did other things. And one of the things it did was it took the appointment of judges that got to where they was getting because they were constitutionalists, they were conservatives, they were for the rule of law only, and the laws generally of the laws of England. And then this socialist system decided what we're going to do is we're going to create the Constitutional Reform Act of 2005, which will be the seed that we push out, and it will be the Ministry of Justice that picks the judges. It will no longer be separate from Parliament. It will no longer be a non-political element of our constitutional authorities that pick the judges. It will now be political. So a judge that says to me in court, or says to a defendant in court, if you want to change politics, you need to do X, Y, Z, and don't bring politics into my court. Really? Who appointed you? Was it the Attorney General? I don't think so. These judges are now sitting there as socialists. That's how the Nazis took control. The Nazis did nothing wrong in law. Go and ask an English barrister. Go and ask anyone. But let me just say this to you. I think you should all be aware that the Nuremberg trials took place at the end of the Second World War. And all of those judges and all of those men comes back to bite you in the end. And let me tell you something, Mr. Blair, you're going to have the biggest bite of all, son. Right, so getting into this element that I want to talk about, you've got these judges and you've got this system and they say what they're going to do and this is what they're going to do and this is how they're going to do it. So this comes back to the rule of law and Northern Ireland, which I'm going to talk about at the end of the show. But before I do, I want to say this to you. Yeah? The rule of law is fantastic. I've got law books everywhere. I have got that literally the laws of England written by Coke. I've got those books here. How many barristers, how many British barristers have them in their possession? How many British barristers have even read our constitutional laws? Nil point. How many judges have read our constitutional laws? Some of the older ones probably have. Some of the people that were never handpicked by the Ministry of Justice probably have. Some of them do understand our constitution and still love England. There must be judges still out there with the same backbone and character as Lord Denning or Sir John Laws, the late Sir John Laws, who I had a lot of respect for. I've said this to people in the past and I'll say it again. The only time I ever shed a tear for a judge was Lord Denning, a proper English working class judge. I've listened to him. I go out and listen to judges. I watch judges. I read their blogs or their ex-blogs. I do them things because I love the law, right? I can see what's going on here. And without going further into it at the moment, because I'm going to leave it to the end of the show. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is the Bill of Rights and another channel. I think it's called the UK Shooting Channel or something similar to that, right? And this guy, who I would describe as not very, not. I've tried to contact him before and he's completely ignored me. I consider that he considers me to be right wing or some, aggressive, nasty nutter, right? And I'm none of them things. I believe in the rule of law. He and listen to this, because as I say it, you'll understand where the problem lies. The British Rifle Association chairman and the geezer that runs this channel, have both said that the Bill of Rights is no longer in force, or words to that effect, and that the right to keep and bear arms, and one of them actually stated, and I've got it somewhere and I haven't got it on me, has actually stated, listen to this, it's actually stated that anyone that believes that the English Bill of Rights and the right to bear arms still exists, obviously hasn't even done O-level law, right? If they think that. And that this Parliament can do what it likes, right? So I'm going to say this to the British Rifle Association. I have asked Robin to personally respond. I don't know if he will do. But I'm going to say this, and to the UK shooting, whatever it is, And by the way, he lost his bottle, the geezer, on UK Shooting Channel, because when he started showing guns and talking about guns and doing all different things about guns and talking about his licence, he capitulated to the system, right? And I don't mean this in a really rude way, but I'm going to say, like, you ain't worth that, son, right? And if you think, that you're what they actually set up this for, and I'm talking about the ESSEX rifles and talking about the history of firearms in this country, if you think you're one of them people, you ain't, right? And one of the reasons why we always had the right to keep and bear arms was, the same as America, to keep tyranny at bay, right? Right. Let's get into the seriousness of this conversation. The English Democrats are the only political party with a chairman and leader who has 35 to 40 years experience in the legal profession, who is a solicitor, who happens to be a constitutionalist, who happens to understand the law of this country, and just to the chairman of the British Rifle Association, he's got a bit more than an O-level in law. He's a solicitor, and he's also got audience rights in the High Court, right? He's a very successful solicitor and lawyer, right? Understand that? Mr. Chairman of the British Rifle Association, So here's the point for your comment. Seeing as it's the British Rifle Association, I think we should create, and we will do, the English Rifle Association, because you're certainly not what I would expect from a rifle association of any nature. You certainly don't understand the law on firearms in this country, and you certainly don't understand the law on self-defence. So I'm going to explain it to you. And UK firearms, or whatever you're called, the channel, and there's people watching this out there and will understand exactly what I mean. I'm going to tell you something as well, right? Mainly because you're a gutless prick, right? Because you capitulated to the policeman. Oh, the policeman threatened me, they threatened to take my licence away. That's how you was, right? And I watched the fucking video, mate. I stopped watching your videos because I realised you was a complete and utter prick. Right, so here goes, right? Because I'm trying to be polite here, right? Robin Tilbrook, we had a vote in a political party that's been going 18 years, right? In that vote, we put in our manifesto the right to keep and bear arms, the right to have firearms, the right to be issued by the Chief Constable with a firearm for self-defence. Right, so this is the key point, right? It is policy, it is government policy, not law, that we can't have firearms, right? It is policy. And the reason why it's policy, people, is because the Bill of Rights and prior to the Bill of Rights, our ancient laws and customs says that we have the right to be armed for self-defence. Right. There is an element at the end of the quotation in the Bill of Rights. If you want me to bring it up, I will. Right? And it says, as allowed by law. And all of these non-experts that have never even fucking read the Bill of Rights, right? Never gone into the history of the Bill of Rights, never read the Declaration of Rights, never looked at the archives, the real archives of the Declaration of Rights, never looked at the previous laws, because the right to bear arms was already an existing right of the English, because the fucking British didn't exist, and nor did your Rifle Association. Let me just say that first, right? Now, let's get to the great stuff, shall we? As allowed by law. What did that mean? What did they refer to? Well, you simply go to the debates of the time. Not just that, you can go to the archives in Parliament. I've got books which show me every one of those rights. Did you know that the Declaration of Rights had 27 heads of terms? Right? 13 of those was transferred into the Bill of Rights because the other ones were seen as standard, already part of our law. But several of the laws that contained in the Bill of Rights were already existing law being restamped. Yeah, the others were additional laws that needed further advancement by the Parliament, and that's why certain things had to happen in a process at the time, right? But from the convention, the discussion at the time on the right to keep and bear arms was this, and one of the reasons there was opposition to the right to keep and bear arms was because the elite said we can't have these damn peasants shooting our pheasants, right? Or killing our game for food, right? That's what it was about, right? And it was almost non-existent to talk about shooting someone in the street or anything like that because everyone was armed, right? Made for a polite society in a lot of ways. Now, the point about the Declaration of Arms and what the conversation was about was because as allowed by law, what they said was, you've got the right to self-defence, and as allowed by law, you have the right to self-defence. That's what they was talking about. And then they started talking about, what about these damn peasants shooting our game, right? That's what the other argument was. And then what they said was the same laws apply. You have trespass, you have this, you have that. And they said, as allowed by law, right? And that's one of the reasons why today, that if you want to go onto a farmer's land and shoot his fucking ducks, you have to ask him. Because if you was to do something like that, and you didn't have his permission, you could be done for trespass, right? And you could, currently, have your firearm taken away because you didn't ask for his permission, right? So that's where, as allowed by law, come from. But the right to self-defence exists. They cannot repeal it. Do you understand that? Listen, British Rifle Association chairman, seeing as you were so insulting in your write-up and your blog about people saying we've got the right to bear arms, why don't you go and do a fucking O-level in constitutional law? Prick. Right, so you've got two pricks on the internet, right? Both of them, one of them is some sort of gun club, shows you all these bits hanging off, you've got to have 16 inches and you've got a handgun, you've got this funny thing hanging on it, and the reason is because it has to be this length, and they put, listen mate, yeah? You're like every other idiot in this country that's British. You're a fucking socialist and you allow these idiots to tell you what to do. I've no doubt you wear a mask and you've had a fucking jab already, right? Because you can't think for yourself, can you? You have to be told by the socialist government what you should and shouldn't do, right? So, I'm hoping that's clear because I'm receiving lots of comments from people, yeah? Now, let me just say this to you, yeah? Currently, Parliament has made laws in terms of certain firearms and different bits and this, and they're trying to restrict your firearms. Right, well, I am telling you, do you understand this? I am telling you, yeah? It is law of the land that you have the right to a firearm for self-defence, defend your home, defend your person, defend your property, and to defend your family. That's the law. Now, what happens when you make a firearms thing, it will tell you on the top of there, you have to have good reasons for a firearm, and self-defence is not a reason to have a firearm. That is contrary to the law of the land. And it is policy, not the law. That is what we're challenging. If you want to vote for the English Democrats and police commissioners, what you're going to see, everyone in Essex, you better listen to this, everyone in Greater Manchester, you want to listen to this, everyone in West Yorkshire, you want to listen to this, and everyone in Bedfordshire, you want to listen to this. That's where your police commissioners are. You get out and support us, and we support you, right? What else does it mean? Right. CS gas, where you can go into, if you was French, you could go into any shop and buy CS gas for personal protection, especially for women, right? Big man choking, right? Does she get raped? I'm not going to be, just in case there's anyone listening to this who's ever been raped, right? Does she get raped? No, she don't. Is it an equaliser? Yeah. What do the British class it as? A firearm. You cannot be issued with it. You're not allowed to have it. You get nicked and you go to prison for it. English Democrats have said that's unfair. We believe women should have the right to have CS gas to defend themselves and protect themselves. Right? It's the British that took all of that away, and I can go to the slides and show you the slides again, and you will understand that they've took all of that away. The British are the problem. Right? So just to let everyone know, you can legitimately vote for the English Democrat police commissioners. They're elected, so the judges want people to be elected. The judges are telling us, if you want to change things, you elect people. That's exactly what we're doing. So that elected person as a police commissioner holds certain powers. One of them powers is to tell the chief constable, this is the law, there it is. You no longer put on there self-defence isn't a good reason to have a firearm. It absolutely is, because that's the English Democrats' policy, and you shall issue concealed carry. End of. Right? Chief Constable comes back and says, I'm not doing it. Police commissioner says, okay, you're fired. Next, Chief Constable. We can only give you this position if you're going to carry out the policies of an elected police commissioner. And it is the law of the land that English men and women have the right to bear arms. Do you understand that, sir? Or, lady, ma'am. And they say, yes, we do. Do you support the policy and will you issue? Yes, I will. You got the job. Bang. That's it. So you've got the equivalent of a US sheriff, because all the laws stem in America from England, as a police commissioner that's telling the chief of police, the chief constable, that's our law, you'll respect it. Take away the government's policy, we're not interested, that's the law. Shall issue for defence. End of. Everybody in Essex listening to this now, get this show out there so people understand it. Right? Now, what is the other benefit of an armed society? Well, I can tell you now, lower crime rates. So do the police not want lower crime rates? Do the courts not want lower crime rates? And then everyone talks about mass shootings. Mass shootings come from people generally that have bought the firearms illegally. Right? Let me just say this to you people. There are countries in Europe that shall issue, and Czech Republic is one of them. They've just changed their constitution to allow it. They've now got 280,000 people concealed carry in Czechoslovakia, and or Czech Republic. Do you know why? Because they was overrun by the Nazis. Then they got overrun by the communists. And now their politicians have said, fuck you, it ain't happening again, right smack in the middle of the EU, right? So they've changed their constitution. They've said to the people, go and buy your firearms, which they have. What's the result? Ooh. Oh, sorry. Did I hear that the crime rate is plummeting in the Czech Republic? Of course you have respect for firearms. You have respect for people who carry a firearm as well, right? I'm a Christian. I wouldn't shoot anyone dead unless there was a good reason for it, right? And let me tell you something, self-defense is that reason. Now, let's get on to the next one. Switzerland. Got firearms, lowest crime rate. Really? They're not telling you that. No, it's only socialist nations that take your money. Sorry, did I say take your money? I think I meant that as well. It's only socialist nations that take your firearms. Nazi Germany took your firearms. USSR took your firearms. If you go all around the world to the biggest genocides that ever took place, they take your firearms. And then you've got these gutless bastards on YouTube called UK shooting or whatever, yeah? Right? Ain't worth that. Let me tell you something else, yeah? The British National Association, you ain't worth two bob, son. You don't even know the fucking law. What the fuck are you doing as the chairman of the British... Oh, hang on a minute. He's British. So we need an English Rifle Association. So anyway, anyone out there that's got an interest in firearms and you want to be the CEO, chairman of the English Firearms Association, let us know. Another string to our bow. Now, obviously, I have had discussions on that, and I think I've put my views quite succinctly. The only thing that I will finish on, and don't forget, none of this is scripted. I've wrote 3 things down here, that's it, right? None of this, so I have to jog my memory of what I was going to talk about, and Northern Ireland. Oh, what? Well, I'll keep telling people. No, hang on, hold up, people. Northern Ireland. Did you say that they can have firearms for self-defence? What? There isn't. So when you apply for a firearm in Northern Ireland, the actual thing that says across the top there is you can't, that self-defence is not a reason to have a firearm. You mean that doesn't exist in Northern Ireland? No, it don't. What? People have got guns and they carry guns in Northern Ireland. Yeah. Really? Yeah, but they have got a problem with socialists out there called the IRA. And I think people need to understand that. Anyway, what, and we ain't got problems with socialists in this country? Like the National Health Service and like the British who are socialists. Come on, people. Right. That said, right, I think everyone should be started to look up this prick, yeah, who is the chairman of the British Rifle Association, find, yeah, this blog, and I'm sure someone's going to put it in there, and send him a message and say to him, we're now starting the English Rifle Association because we don't want anything to do with the British, right? And by the way, the British are in a minority and you're a bunch of socialists and we're not interested in you. Thanks very much, right? And to this other geezer who runs this YouTube channel about firearms, let me tell you something, there's people out there that I can speak to and I know more about firearms than you'll ever know, son, right? And the fact that you lost your bottle with, I can't say this on my YouTube channel because they'll take my channel down and they'll take my mother license. Yeah? I have seen, you looked like Bungle. You did look like Bungle, right? Literally. Or is it Zippy? Oh no, it must have been Zippy. Zip, right? Because soon as they started putting pressure on you, you lost your arsehole, son. You ain't. Let me tell you something. Anyone who watches your channel should literally bin you. You're no good to no one, right? And if you work in the firearms industry, in a shooting club or anything like that, you should get everybody in that club to say, I tell you what, mate, your opinions ain't worth that. You don't know what you're talking about, and you lost your bottle, and you're part of the reasons why we're losing all our rights in this country. That's what you should be saying to them. And that people like us stand up for our rights. And that's exactly what we're doing. And the Bill of Rights is in full force, and we're going to prove that in the next few weeks. So, Maria, zip right up, Zippy. There you go. Old English White, Keck Ranger, except me, GE. That's this. Elizabeth Sandbase, Danny Dragon, I am loving this. Right, let me tell you something else. Right, so we're now going to go on to, so the next subject is about, I'm going to talk about something. I just want you, listen, I don't want any nasty comments, and I do mean that, right? I don't want them slagging off this channel, believing that there's some serious problem out there with this channel or the people that follow us, right? So I'm going to show you this channel. Now this is Jon Snow, right? And all I want to do is just show you, let me see if I can bring it up on here. Hopefully, let's see if I can bring this down a touch, and touch would you be able to see it, right? So the shoes will be hard to fill, not to mention the tie rack. Jon Snow's fans and fellow journalists laud the brave and indomitable broadcaster who will quit Channel 4 News after 32 years, right? Married father of 3 and veteran journalist, has spent 45 years at ITN. 73-year-old will leave Channel 4, he's 73, will leave Channel 4 News as the longest serving presenter ever. He will continue to work with Channel 4 and front longer form projects. Last month he welcomed a baby boy, so he's a dad again at 73. Listen to this, right? With his wife, Dr. Precious Lunga, 46. I think that's 28 years difference, but maybe 30 years. I don't know. I'm not that good at maths. I know that. Oh, actually, it ain't. You can get you've got 6 that you drop into a revolver, but some revolvers have 7, right? And no, I won't go in there. Anyway, he would continue, right? So, 73-year-old, and he marries a 46-year-old bird, right? Mr. Snow has 2 older daughters with ex-partner Maladine Colvin, 64, right? So, 73-year-old marries a 46-year-old. Listen, I ain't got a problem with age. I don't believe that age difference should exist. I think age is just a number. And I mean that as well. So, you know, where I'm X, I could marry someone who is 80, right? And all you 80-year-old women out there, and it has to be women, by the way, that's certainly one of my rules, right? I mean, you could, all you 80-year-old women are sitting out there thinking, fuck me, I've got a chance here. Well, I'll tell you what you have, right? I don't regard age as a discrimination in a relationship. I just don't believe that. I believe if you're soulmates and you think the same. Look at what happened with what was the lady in fucking hell? You're all going to tell me her name in a minute. Barbara Windsor, and the geezer she ended up marrying, right? And there was someone else. I can't remember who it was. Can't remember who it was now, but it'll come to me in a minute. But anyway, Jon Snow's fans and journalists have lauded the brave and indomitable broadcaster after it was. Let me tell you something, you don't get more left than this geezer, right? 73-year-olds, they keep going on about that, and they keep saying how he's had a result with his wife, and you know, and they've just had a kid and everything. Anyway, here's his wife. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything at all, right? She's a doctor. That's all I'm saying. She's a doctor. And of course, you know, there he is with his strange ties. There's him with a camera out somewhere. There's him as a young lefty. and I'm not going to say any more. All I'm just going to say is, look at them two, right? And you wonder why, and he's just not one out of her and all. And you wonder why he, he's an extreme lefty anyway. I just read that and I looked at it and I thought, oh my God, right? That's literally what I thought. Anyway, we'll go on to the next subject, right? And I dare not look at my stream comments because I'll probably get all these wonderful 70, 80, 90-year-old ladies saying, "Whoa, I've got a chance," right? And listen, right? I can't even do the impression. I ain't got many in my old teeth anyway. Right, B&B, you're on a roll tomorrow. Keep it up, mate. What's that? Right, Michael Crook, Pauline Daniels. Oh, Paul Daniels is another one, yeah. Right, well said, had a kid. Let me tell you something. I love kids. So the fact that he's just had another kid, I just think that is fantastic. Even though I don't like him, he's a lefty. His wife just happens to be a doctor, probably working with the National Health Service, another socialist, right? That's the main point of what I'm trying to get at here, right? Socialists sort of... anyway, so they've now got another little socialist offspring. And I bet social services won't be getting involved when that little baby is indoctrinated. What do you think? Right, let me just say that to everyone. And how do we vote for the police commissioners? I'll tell you what. I've just heard a question. Right, you should have a voting card. I'm not going to show mine, but mine is here somewhere. I have got a voting card, right? I'm going to try and send this over because Robin said I can show it on the show. So before we do that, I'm going to carry on with that, right? Let me just say this to you, and I'm also really grateful for the donations coming today, and donations coming from yesterday. And I've had conversations with the people who made them donations. I'm not going to say anything, but you know who you are, and I'm really grateful for that because it means we've been able to assist someone, and I will come back to that in a little bit. Later, probably next week. Let me just have a look at this, right? I need to do something and I need to find out what it was. Chilbrook. Let's see if I can find old Chilbrook. Is this the one that he sent me? Yes, it is. Right, what I'm going to do now is forward this on to myself. I do apologise. Let me forward that on to my other account, which is sent to me. What do I need to do? But really and truthfully, I said this last night, people. You need all these smashed up on the front page of the website, you know, because people are asking and they don't even know. And I just think it's a liberty. Right, here we go. I'm going to send this to myself. I'm like Billy May, mates, and I'm sending this to myself. Here we go, right. That's it. So, did you hear that? Whoa! It's gone, right? So I'm now going to go into the ether and I'm going to find this element. And again, if anyone wants to read through that, I'm going to put it up on there and then I'm going to get onto the subject after that and then I'm going to carry on talking about some other bits and pieces. Hopefully you've all seen that. Let me tell you something, people. If I could have had a football team, I would have done. I love kids. And it does break my heart to see, you know, the way, you know, if you're considered on the right, I've seen this happen to people. I mean, people who are in UKIP, right? Social services were called because they were UKIP activists. Yeah, you know, their kids are being indoctrinated in some way. Just think about that, right? So This Nazi system of socialism that we've got in place now, and I do believe we're living in a fascist system, what we've got now, right? And I could explain it and go into deeper, and everyone will get it. But do you understand that? Do they ever go to them kids and say, listen, you're indoctrinating these children to believe in socialism. It's an ideology. You shouldn't be doing it, right? Do they ever do that? No. Just think about that. Just think about the way they're indoctrinated. And that is what the Nazis did. The Nazis had the Hitler Youth. And that's what we've got in this country. But no one calls it that, right? So I'm going to just show you that part. Now, let me get back up on here and have a look. And hopefully I will be able to find for you. And hopefully this isn't going to... I did ask him if I could show this on screen, and I'm actually going to do that now. How do I get rid of that one? Right, there it is there. Now let's blow it up on the screen. I mentioned blowing up there. They'd probably ban me on the channel with that. Let's have a look and see if I can bring this down to one side. And here we go. Hopefully there's nothing on there that is wrong. Hopefully you're seeing this on the screen. So, election of police and crime commissioner for Essex Police. Now, if you're registered to vote, which is why it's important, again, anyone who says to me, not worth voting, you're never going to get anywhere, you are actually indoctrinated by the socialist system, and you are complying with their brainwashing, which is basically putting in your mind that you've already lost, right? And by the way, when people say that on this channel, I do ban them for it, because I find that the most repulsive comment you can make on my channel, right? For everything that I'm doing and how hard we all try in the background, one person comes on there and says there's no point in voting, right? I'll automatically ban you, right? And the reason for that is if you're that fucking easily coerced, I shall say, like, you know, a lot of other people out there. What do Marxists and communists and fascists want? They don't want you to vote because they want to demoralise the majority, yeah, the real majority, which is us. They want you demoralised so you don't vote, yeah, you don't vote, which if the majority don't vote and they stay at home, it means a tinier element, yeah, of highly organised socialists, fascists and communists come out and vote. And that then gives a slew. And it's not the real element. Really, the real thinking people are way out, so out that they go off the screen. Yeah, and so the socialists are down here, but because they demoralised, us, all these people in between, yeah, sitting there saying we ain't going to vote. And then you've got the others who vote for the Tories, don't believe that. You know, they don't understand that the Tories are fucking socialists, right? And that's the truth. That ain't me just saying it. It's knowing history. That is the truth. So the election of Police and Crime Commissioner for Essex, just so you all absolutely know. Vote once in column 1 for your first choice and vote once in X in column 2 for your second choice, right? So all you're doing, and there they are, in Essex there are only 4 candidates. There is Roger Hurst, the Conservative Party candidate, right? And the only Conservative, right? That's a con, right? So what you've actually got on this ballot box are Lib, there they are, Lib, Lab, Con, there they are. Right? The only person on there that stands for the English, and there it is the English Democrats putting English first in Essex, making a real difference, is guess who? Robin Tilbrook. Robin Tilbrook, Robin Charles William. Fuck me. You got some fucking proper English names there, son, ain't you? Right? Lucky you ain't fucking dyslexic, innit? You would have a struggle. I felt so sorry for my son. He's dyslexic and ADHD, and I won't give you his names, but they're like similar, right? And his first name, Big Long Christopher. Let me tell you something, right? And then he had 3 other middle names and then my last name. How bad do you think I felt when I worked out that he was fucking dyslexic? Fucking hell. I just wished I'd called him Tom or something, you know what I mean? Just one name, Tom, that's it. Here, boy. That ain't so difficult, is it? So Tilbrook, Robin Charles William, English Democrats, more police catching criminals. Did someone just send me a message? Hang on a minute. I can't check my WhatsApp, and I'll tell you. Oh, what's going on here? I'll tell you for why. I'll try. It's not working, right? Anyway, so on your screen, yeah, what you've got now is the Essex of Police and Crime Commissioner, election of Police and Crime Commissioner for Essex Police Area. Now, I want you to understand that when we go to court, judges say, don't bring politics in here. If you want to change things, then you have to elect them, right? So now judges can't use that. When you go for a firearm, we're electing Robin Tilbrook. It's in our manifesto. The law of the land says you can be armed for self-defence. And we're telling the Chief Constable, you will no longer say to people it is not a good reason to have a gun for self-defence. We're not having it. Do you understand that? And that's the difference, right? So they're terrified that this is going to get out to the general public, that's what's going to happen. Now listen to me, the general public in Essex must understand, crime rates plummet. Your property prices in Essex will shoot through the roof. Because if you elect any of our commissioners, and we implement this, crime rate plummets, right? Secondary element, yeah, is the property crime and crimes against the person plummet, right? It then becomes a safe area to live in. That's the truth, people. Not this bullshit that's coming out from all these lefties who want to take your guns. The real truth about firearms in public life is they lower crime substantially, significantly. Right? And then you've got the situation where property prices start going up in them areas because it is one of the safest areas to live. People start to respect each other. You know, if you don't know Joe Bloggs over there is carrying or his mate's carrying and you fancy getting a knife out and stabbing the geezer or whatever, you've got a bit of a problem because there could be more than 1 or 2 people in the same who's got concealed carry. And all of a sudden society becomes a polite place. All of a sudden robberies go down. Because once someone starts to rob someone, you've seen the videos online, a fella went up into a shop and pulled out a knife, stuck it in the back of the cashier, and the fella standing behind looks like that and says, oh right, crack. Now leave her alone, put the knife down, right? That was a normal everyday citizen in America, yeah? Put the knife down. Now get on the floor. Hands behind your back. Stay where you are. Put his foot on the base of his spine. Called the police and said, come and get this prick. Right? That was it. No one got hurt. No one got robbed. And everyone was quite calm. I could show you another video. French man, where his wife and his family was being attacked, where a load of immigrants was walking towards them and had baseball bats and lumps of bars and they was going to do him and they was going to rape his wife and his daughter. He didn't have to take his firearm out. He pulled his coat back and he put his hand on his gun. And he said to them, I'm warning you, I'm armed, right? I have a firearm, do you understand that? In French, right? And they backed off. And when they started coming towards him again, he pulled his coat back, he put his hand on his firearm, he didn't even get it out of the holster. He said, I will shoot you if you come towards me or attack me with them iron bars. Do you understand that? And what happened? A group of 30 geezers walked away. His family ran up there to safety and got towards their car. He then walked quickly out of the situation, but his firearm saved him and his family, possibly his life, and possibly the life of his daughter and his wife. Right? That is the power of a firearm. You haven't even got it to get it out of your fucking holster. Right? That's the difference. Now, Again, let's get back to this. Election of Police and Crime Commissioner for Essex Police Area. Vote once, tells you what you got to do. Column 1. So in column 1, you would put it in there. For obvious reasons, we are going to put a big cross, and I'm not even sure if I can do this on this. I'll tell you what, let me see if I can do it. No, I can't do it live. You're going to put your cross in Mr. Tilbrook there, right? Then you can go for a second choice, if that's what you want to go for. So your second choice, for example, although I would absolutely puke to do this, it would be this person. Or if you really wanted to do it to, you'd have to ask Robin how you would do it in such a way that you cause a problem for the others and you become put up there, because this is on second choices, right? Because second choices come into this, and what you don't want to do, you need to be as many first choices as possible. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do something slightly weird. I'm going to come off of there, put myself back on there. I'm going to try and do this while I'm talking to you. Let me have a look and see if I can do it. Can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do it? Don't know. I'm a bit weird like that. So anyway, that was it. So you've seen it on the screen. If you want, anyone wants to re-see that, let me know and I'll show you. But you need to get that out as soon as possible. You need to get that out on social media, and we need to put a cross in the box for Robin Tilbrook. I'll ask Robin who else, on the second choice, and have you got to make a second choice, and just send it out there. So I will be asking Robin tonight, and no doubt Robin will tell me that. In fact, I could have rung him 5 minutes ago and done it, right? But there you go. Now, lastly, let's get to our last point. Is that clarified everything? So tomorrow, Clacton on Sea, 12 noon at the pier. Yeah? We're not staying at the pier, we're just going there. Everyone have some of their leaflets. We're going to go out, we're going to have a little walk up the thing. We're not going to be in Clacton long, probably about an hour, 2 hours. My cousin's going to be there, so if you want to say hello to cousin Janice, you can. And another one of my cousins, Marion, who is as funny as fuck, right? Well, actually, they're both funny. They're just like me, right? In fact, you could probably see the likeness when you're down there, but they're really lovely people. And they both live in Clacton, right? So just to let you know. And then I know other people in Clacton. So anyone from Essex, if you want to help us in Clacton, come down and deliver them leaflets. Anyone else in Essex at all, get the message out to them to vote for Robin Tilbrook, right? If you want to see a shock through the establishment, vote Robin Tilbrook. If you want to see a shock through the establishment in Manchester, right? Don't forget, in Manchester, yeah, it is our one and only Stephen Morris, right? He just happens to be the General Secretary of the Union. So Labour's finding it really difficult to have a pop at him. Why? Because he's the General Secretary of the Union, right? My union, your union, the English union, and they don't like it, people, right? Vote for Stephen Morris in West Yorkshire. You've got another one of our candidates, Therese, right? Vote for Therese. It's simple, yeah? It just works well. Now let me just see if I can log in without this causing me too many dramas. Let me see if I can log into WhatsApp, because I think someone is trying to give us a laugh, they said. So I am like that. I will go for a laugh if I can. It is Friday. And what am I doing now? To use WhatsApp on your computer, open WhatsApp on your phone. Oh, blimey, who's that? Oh yeah, right. Okay, there you go. Mark. Bit of a laugh. Well done, thank you. Let me have a look. I'm trying to get this up and working, right? So it says, hang on. Let me just see what I have to do here. Settings, hang on. Shared WhatsApp on there. Link a device, active status. Okay, right. Let's see if that worked. Oh, God, blimey, it's only worked, look. See all this technology, people. Live on air. Look, Daddy Grazian's tried to have the crack there. Oh, what's this? Even at old age, he loves her enough. EP70, that's fucking hilarious. I've got to show this on the screen, right? This is EP70. This is fucking funny. Right, hang on a minute. Let me just see if I can bring this up. That is fucking funny. I always said to my ex, you know, I said, I'm still going to be banging when I'm 90. She went, you mugging ain't, right? Well, I should have said not with you. Sorry. No, she's a nice friend now. Right, so here it is on the screen. Even in old age, if he loves her enough, he will do what it takes to keep that spark in a relationship. Laugh out loud. And there you go. Oh, she loves it, look, eh? Don't she love it? 80 years old, eh, mate? Oh. And he's probably got that plunger stuck up his arse to stop him shitting himself. But there you go. And here's another one, right? So here's the other one. Oh, blimey, get that out of the way. Here's another one. Love is... Love is... he's holding her boobs up and she's holding his dick up. To support each other until the end. That is funny. Mark, that is proper funny. I'll tell you. Right? Oh, I know a few British barristers have got that problem. Both male and female. Right, here we go. So anyway, we've just had that one. I've got to take that off now because, you know, we'll have the British Broadcasting Authorities having kittens. Right, let's have a look at this one and see if there's another one here. Hello. Caustic's just sent me a message. Right, this is another one. Again, I don't really want to show that because it's got the wrong, it's got a name on there that I don't want to show. How can I do that without showing a name? I'll tell you what, let me try and do it this way. Oh, no. I wonder if I can do it. How can I do it? Right, so one of the things in Greater Manchester, there was a hustings, and I was sent this thing, and and again it's from Caustic Chameleon, right? And there it is, and it shows you, and I can't show it because it will naff the screen. I'll doxer. But basically, it's got Greater Manchester mayoral candidate hustings Thursday 12:30. What's this one say? Hang on a minute. What's this one say? Can you find me a younger woman? He's just sent me he's just sending he's got a mask on of about 90. These people get, let's have a look and see what they're doing. I've seen some of that, right? Anyway, there it is. What else do I want to do? Let's go for this and see if there's any other messages. After the show, text me, let me know all the details. Okay. And there we got that, right? Someone's just sent me another video, probably going to be one of them funny ones. That's it. I'm not going to go into any more detail about that. But don't forget what it looks like. And don't. So one of the things that you've got to understand, especially with the ESSEX election, there's only 4 candidates, right? So that is fantastic. So in effect, the Greens ain't on there. The other people ain't on there. And Robin Tilbrook is a solicitor. He's not a mug. He's the chairman and leader of the party. You've got someone you can really vote for in Essex, and I do think you need to get that out. I'm going to show it again because it is so important to see this. So there it is. Election of Essex and Police and Crime Commissioner. All you've got to do, it's the only one with the English flag, and it's the only one that says English, more police catching criminals. And that's what they'll do. And you will be armed, and any of the criminals come into your property, you've got the right to self-defence. That's it. You couldn't ask for a better the situation that you got in Essex. If you can get that message out to people, if you can, I'll do a little video after this, a little 1-minute video, get it out and get it out there for Robin, right? And then if the other candidates send me a similar mock-up, I'll do that for them as well, and they can get it out in their own social media platform. That's it. What else was there? Oh, not spoke about Northern Ireland at all, right? So I am going to be talking about Northern Ireland. I'm going to finish off on Northern Ireland, and then hopefully everyone will be getting it. Listen, people. Northern Ireland. They are persecuting our soldiers, right? I have got an issue with the British. Everyone should know that who knows me, right? I do not dislike the army. In fact, I love the army. I've always loved the army. I was in the army cadets, right? But I understand as I've got older the difference between the British and the English in a massive way, right? All of our English regiments have been destroyed by the British on purpose. It is by design. It's almost the Nazi regime now pushing forward and succeeding. The element that you should understand is that the IRA are socialists, right? Now the IRA Green Book, if you go and read it, in 4 or 6 places it states that it was never about Protestant and Catholic, right, or any of them things. It was, they are sworn, and so is Sinn Féin, to socialism, right? So the IRA are the paramilitary arm of Sinn Féin, a socialist party. They used, as socialists and communists do, violence to get their own way. They bombed into submission the British establishment, and it's not the first time they've done it, right? So when I say they're not the first time, Irgun, the Jewish terrorist group, bombed into submission in Palestine the British, right? The British are always responsible for capitulate. They say we don't negotiate with terrorists. No, you don't. You just capitulate, right? The British are gutless, no good, low-life people, all right? Now, what you've got is a socialist system in this country now, all right? And I want the people, the veterans, to listen to me carefully, very carefully, right? You've now got a socialist system, and that socialist system is persecuting you. It isn't the Irish that are putting you through the ringer now and prosecuting you. It isn't the Europeans that are putting you through the ringer and prosecuting you. It's the British. And at some stage you need to realise, and I heartfelt understand how you feel about that, and how you feel about your pals fighting for the British flag, you know, and the fallen, etc. But the British ain't been around that long. And they only started attacking the English once they'd lost their largest colony, which is basically England's big brother, the United States of America. Both common law jurisdictions, and it's the common law justice system and the common law jurisdiction that the socialists hate, which is what Karl Marx said, that all of Europe's communist revolutions have been shipwrecked on a rock of England. He didn't say Britain, he said England, right? Now, let's forget, listen, just veterans out there, right? I have been asked on a number of occasions now to help the veterans that have been and are being charged and prosecuted for alleged crimes in Northern Ireland, right? I want to say this to you. To the veterans out there, I will help any one of you, right? I help people and I don't charge any money. I will help you as much as I possibly can. You must remember a number of things. First, if you get a phone call about we want to see you Ministry of Defence or Ministry of Justice or whatever it is, you must say no comment. Never, don't give your number, your rank, no nothing, right? When I say it's no comment, it's no comment. Do not speak to the enemy. The enemy are the British. In this instance, you are being prosecuted by the very people that put you in that position. They have capitulated to the socialists entirely. There has been a socialist, Nazi, fascist takeover of England, and that is what you're witnessing. You are witnessing the fact that the British are prosecuting you and your comrades, yeah, the veterans. And unless the veterans wake up to that and understand it is only the English that will save you, and I don't mean that lightly. We are the only people that will stand up and defend you. We are the only people that will stand up and say we want our regiments back. We are the only people that want to give you a guaranteed pension because of your oath to England, right? Because England is your country. The United Kingdom is not a country, it's a political union. Do you understand that? Great Britain is not a country, it's a landmass, divided by countries. We have countries, separate countries, we have separate jurisdictions. Northern Ireland is a separate jurisdiction to English and Wales jurisdiction, and to Scottish jurisdiction, which is Roman law. Do you understand that? The veterans need to understand. I'm getting lots of comments, lots of phone calls, lots of people coming at me. Can you help these people? Of course I can help you. But the only way I can help you is if you come to me, right? Download the Signal app. You know what that is, or you should know what that is, right? There are certain individuals that you can go and ask for my number, and I am instructing those individuals to give you my number, right? Those people are Tom, codename Tom. Everyone should know who Tom is, right? There are other individuals out there. Chris, who knows me, and I'm talking about Bootneck. Everyone should know who I'm talking about. He's a fantastic fella. He's one of the best people I've ever spoke to. He actually cares about people, right? If you're in trouble and you need help from people who care about you, as retired soldiers, that's what veterans are, right? If you're being persecuted by the British state, you need us to help you, and we will help you. My number is on Signal. Do you understand that? The other person you can speak to is a guy called David Ellis. He's with you, right? He also has conversations with people who are also veterans that were seen in military during that conflict, right? He has got my telephone number. If you are genuine, he will give you my telephone number, speak to me, and I will help you. Do you understand that, right? I love the army, but I love England. And if you don't like my views on British, and you're being prosecuted by the British, and none of those commanding officers that commanded you during those times, none of those politicians that put you in that arena or that theatre, yeah, as you want to call it, yeah, none of them are being prosecuted. The only people being prosecuted are the men on the ground, the men that had to think for themselves when they was there during that conflict, the people that had to think when they was being shot at, the people that had to think when they was being given sandwiches with fucking glass in it, the people that was being given tea when they pissed in the tea. Let me tell you something, people, right? Them working class men who joined the British Army to defend this country, right? And this country, I mean England. Listen, if you're a Scot and you're in trouble, come and see me. If you're English and you're in trouble, come and see me. If you're Welsh and you're in trouble, come and see me. And if you're Irish, Northern Irish, come and see me. Let me tell you something, people. I've seen the videos and I've listened to the stories on both sides. Let me tell you something. That conflict was nasty. Any conflict that involves brother against brother is a bad conflict, right? But I'm telling you now, the British capitulated to socialism. And what you're seeing now is a socialist regime prosecute you. Do you understand that? That the British are socialists. They are hand in glove with Sinn Féin and with the IRA. Do you understand that? Do you understand that once you are convicted in this system, you are highly likely to be handed over to the IRA to be dealt with? Do you understand that you are highly likely to be handed over to Sinn Féin on a political stand? Do you understand what's going on here? I will help any one of you as a brother and a patriot. If you're Scottish, I'll help you. If you're Northern Irish, I'll help you. If you're Welsh, I'll help you. If you're English, I'll help you. I am a patriot and I believed in the armed forces. Do you understand that? But get it out of your fucking heads that that British flag isn't what you think it is. Not anymore, and it never will be again. You stand for that flag behind me, the English flag. You stand for the dragon, the English dragon, because we've got freedom running through our veins. Let me tell you something, people. We are living in a fascist world, in a fascist country, and it's for us to take it back, and the veterans better learn and learn quickly. And while I'm on the subject, if there's anyone out there who wants to slag off bikers and bikers clubs and the one percenters, the Hells Angels, and all of them other groups and bikers groups, let me tell you something, they always had it right. Yeah? The reason why the system hates the Hells Angels is because the Hells Angels said, fuck you! Fuck your laws and fuck your system! That's what the IRA said. And as long as you leave them alone, they'll fucking leave you alone. But you come for one of their brothers. One of their brothers! I'm telling you now, you will see a fucking war in this country. That's the fucking difference with men who fight. And if you think we can't fight back, fucking think again. That is the end of the show, people. If you know any veterans who are in the shit, let them know. Tell them to come and see us. The next element to this, obviously, is I will be in Clacton tomorrow. We are going to put this out there. Robin Tilbrook, solicitor extraordinaire, solicitor who believes in England, solicitor that's run a political party for 18 years, that has put plenty of his own money into this, and we have distributed over 50 million leaflets in this country. And with this country, I mean England, right? Let me tell you something, people. Get on board. Get this out on social media. Let's create these memes. I'm going to create some memes and send them out as posts on the YouTube channel, right? Get them memes and put them out in West Yorkshire, in Greater Manchester, in Bedfordshire, and in Essex. Fire on both barrels. Let's keep going. Let's keep moving. That's it. Let me tell you something, people. I will never, ever surrender. Don't forget what I believe in. The Constitution is the solution. Don't forget what I believe in. England. God bless England. God bless you, every single one of you. God bless this country and every one of the people who want to fight for this country. Take back control. That's it. Be lucky. I'm off. See you in Clacton. And if you want me to do a little speech for you tomorrow, there's got to be at least more than 20 people, right? So if you all get down there and flock from all over the country to get to Clacton, waving the English flag, you've got to find an English flag somewhere, right? If you ain't got one, you should have one, right? And I will give you a speech that you'll remember, and we'll video it, and I'll talk to you, and maybe Robin will pop down, maybe not, but he might do. But that's it. Be lucky. Off. I'm off. Don't forget, I love you all to bits. Tiddly poo and all that. And I will do more on Northern Ireland next week. I'm going to go into much greater detail, especially about the statute of limitations, and also that if they're prosecuted in any way, then we need. Listen, this country needs to pull back from the brink. We are in a fascist society now. Our barristers are lost, our legal system is lost, our judges are appointed by socialists. That's exactly what happened in Nazi Germany. If they don't like me telling the truth, fuck them. That's it. Bye. Tiddly poo, and I'm going out on my motorcycle. I've got to get out on my bike. It's doing my nutting. I love my motorbike. That's it. By the way, if anyone out there wants to make me an honorary Hells Angel, I will welcome the patch. But I am nobody's bitch. That's it. Bye. Bum, bum.